The holidays are a time to celebrate, but they can also be a time where you pack on the pounds. I'm Divya Gugnani, and I want to avoid that from happening. So let's go behind the burner and meet the nutritionist. So I'm here with nutritionist Martha McKittrick. Martha, the holidays, I get invited to a cocktail party every single night. I don't want to wake up on New Year's Day and look like the Goodyear blimp. What can I do?
When you go to a cocktail party, you're faced with alcohol, a lot of times hors d'oeuvres. You're mingling, you're not paying attention. You know, one drink, a couple more hors d'oeuvres, another drink, then the cookies and the desserts.
You've got fat, you've got sugar, and you've got alcohol. You've got all the bad things for you all at once, and basically every night of the week in the holiday season.
It can be tough. You can easily pack on 5 to 7 pounds if you're not careful. So you've got to plan. So my first tip would be, when you go into the party, make sure you don't have low blood sugar. Make sure you've eaten something before you go.
So great tip, eat before you go.
Have a little something. Maybe it's some yogurt, which I know you love, or some nuts, or a piece of fruit, something to pick your blood sugar up. My second tip is to make sure you're very hydrated going into the party. That will help make the alcohol not affect you as much. So make sure you've drank a lot of water that day. And when you get to the party, try and alternate water or seltzer with the alcohol.
So very important to hydrate during the holidays. It's a great tip, and then also it's great for your skin.
It's very good for your skin. And if you want to hold something in your hand, you hold your seltzer or your water so you're not as tempted to keep going for the alcohol.
That's true. Sometimes I'll do a glass of wine, then a glass of water, so I feel like I'm hydrating in between. Or sometimes I just opt not to have the glass of wine, and I'll do a seltzer with a splash of cranberry, get a little vitamin C in there.
Absolutely.
It's a lower calorie alternative to having a glass of wine or having a cocktail.
Absolutely. Be careful with the hors d'oeuvres. One little mini quiche or little puff pastry can be 100 calories. It's a lot. Right there, you have to speed walk for a good 1.5 miles to burn that off.
Oh my God, I am not walking for 1.5 miles to eat a puff pastry. I'm sorry.
Not worth it.
Not happening.
Instead, what I would recommend, if they have things like shrimp or lean protein, those type of appetizers or hors d'oeuvres, that's a much better choice.
Yeah, and then don't obviously go for the stuff that's doused in oil. When I see oil like busting at the seams in any dish that I'm being presented with, I know not to choose that.
Even if it's a healthy olive oil, it still has a lot of calories.
It does.
Instead, try if you go to a buffet or there's a party where they have like a slice, like a carving roast, like sliced chicken or turkey or even roast beef, I would start out with lean protein. That can kind of help satiate you, and maybe have a teaspoon or 2 of the higher calorie types of dishes.
So a great tip is that when you opt for the lean proteins, they're going to keep you full a lot longer.
Exactly. And let's say you do overindulge at the party. You don't want to beat yourself up. A lot of times we tend to have an all or nothing mentality, and we think, oh, I blew it, I had a little too much, so I might as well keep eating. That's where you get into trouble. Say, okay, I overdid it, and the next day get back on track with your healthy eating plan.
Yeah, and then also the one day I overate at a party, which by the way is a lot of days, and then I really just exercise more. So I think it's important to incorporate exercise into your regimen. So often when I'm going to these parties, what I'll do is I'll walk there. And so that's a great alternative for me to walk to the party, take my flat shoes with me, walk there, and then put on my party heels and get ready while I'm there. My weakness, the sweets, always. What do I do here?
Well, Divya, my question to you would be, once you have one, do you have to keep going? A lot of people, once they have one cookie or one brownie, then they're going to have something else.
They fall overboard.
You have to know yourself. There's nothing wrong with enjoying some sweets. If you can have a small piece of something, enjoy it. But you don't want it to snowball into continual eating of sweets.
So a friend of mine who's a chef always tells me I have to learn how to taste food and not eat it. There's a big difference between enjoying a party and having a bite of this and a bite of that and just tasting it and getting the flavors on your palate, as opposed to just eating everything in sight, which is normally my cocktail party strategy.
That's what you have to work on, Divya.
That is what I need to work on. So thanks, Martha, for your great tips for the holidays. Stay tuned to Behind the Burner, where we give you the tips, tricks, and techniques that are lighting the culinary world on fire.